you called his inaction on this issue a betrayal. So broadly, what consequences do you think the president should face for that betrayal? And specifically, what do you think Congress should do?
Well, look, first of all, Congress and the intelligence committees on the Congress, both parties should demand the facts. This seems to be a moving story. As I was leaving, I had the television on, as I put on my shirt. And I understand there's even some more information that's come out today about what was known. One of two things. This president is, he talks about cognitive capability. He doesn't seem to be cognitively aware of what's going on. He either reads and or gets briefed on important issues and he forgets it, or he doesn't think it's necessary that he need to know it.
Last question, real quick. Some have speculated, sir, that you are subject to some degree of cognitive decline. I'm 65. I don't have word recollection that I used to have. I forget my train of thought from time to time. You got 12 years on me, sir. Have you been tested for some degree of cognitive decline?
I've been tested and I'm constantly tested. Look, all I got to do is watch me, and I can hardly wait to compare my cognitive capability to the cognitive capability of the man I'm running against.
So he's out of the gate and running right now. The obvious reason for his reticence to have these kind of press conferences and to embark on normal campaigning is the COVID-19 virus. The second factor is that he is 77 years old, so he's in the target range for the worst symptoms of that kind of virus. And then thirdly, there is speculation, and it is widespread, there's no hiding it anymore, that based upon several gaffes that Biden has made in recent months and even in recent years, that he is experiencing the first effects of some sort of mild dementia or cognitive impairment. He hasn't addressed that. I asked him directly about it.
This is a Fox News reporter trying to prove to the president that, in fact, there's no need for Trump to abandon the network for OAN, that they're still perfectly willing to do his bidding. And so this guy went to a Biden press conference to basically accuse Biden of cognitive decline, which exists as a talking point only insofar as Trump is trying to make it a talking point. And yet what happened? Biden answered it perfectly cogently, because again, it's nothing more than an attack born out of the Trump campaign. But let's be honest here, for Fox News and Republicans, it's not about the answer to this question, it's about the question in and of itself. Biden could have responded in 3 different languages. The point for Republicans is that the question was asked. The point is to keep reiterating this talking point with the hope that they'll eventually just will it into existence and convince enough people it's true. Like when Biden accidentally says we've lost 120 million Americans to coronavirus instead of 120,000, which clearly is disqualifying. Apparently there's no issue with Trump actually presiding over those 120,000 deaths, but Biden misspeaking a single word, well then he must be unfit for office. By the way, I know I joked about Biden answering in 3 different languages, but his performance at this press conference, and especially his words about coronavirus, was as competent as it gets. He said exactly what a president should say. He promised swift action, he promised to defer to experts, he promised to put the health and safety of the American people first, he promised to do the hard work necessary to make that happen. The issue with this Fox News guy trying to paint Biden as old and confused is that he did it at a press conference predicated on fixing Trump's failed response. Of all the times to try and land a gotcha moment against Biden, it might not make the most sense to paint him as incompetent while he's discussing cleaning up the complete and utter failure that was Trump's response to the outbreak. Trump is already the worst case scenario. What's Fox News trying to fearmonger about here? That Biden won't take the virus seriously? That he'll ignore the experts? That he'll pretend it's solved when it's not? That he'll refuse to coordinate a nationwide testing or contact tracing system? That he'll fail to invoke the Defense Production Act and supply our frontline workers with enough PPE? All of those things happened, and they happened under Trump. Nothing could be worse than what has happened here. Even if Democrats elected a brown paper bag, the worst it could do is basically what Trump has already done. So maybe, with 130,000 dead Americans, Republicans should sit this one out. And by the way, just to hammer the difference home, Biden even took a swipe at Trump's golf habit.
This is still don't have what we need. That's why we have a Defense Production Act. You know, Mr. President, use your authority, Mr. President. Use it this week. Scale up the production of N95 masks. You know, the steps you've taken so far haven't gotten the job done, Mr. President. Fix the shortage of PPE for our healthcare workers before you tee off another round of golf. We can't just look at where we are today. We're going to need these masks and gloves and face shields for the foreseeable future.
And that's because even as thousands of people are dying every day as the direct result of Trump's own failed response, he still finds time to spend entire weekends at his golf properties. He still finds time to play all 36 holes over 2 days. This is the same guy, by the way, who attacked Obama relentlessly for golfing at a fraction of the rate that he golfs. And Fox News, for its part, echoed those same attacks. It just goes to show, for the umpteenth time, that the Republican Party and their mouthpieces in the media are steeped in hypocrisy, and that it's matched only by their own incompetence. If you like that video, please check out my brand new podcast, No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen, where I'll cover the most important political stories of the week and interview major players in the world of politics. Available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Check it out and subscribe now.